Well, good afternoon, everybody. As I told Gemma, I'm standing. I'm a trainer, so I may be moving around some, but this is the last session of the afternoon, and we're here to talk about certifications and pursuits. So, since we've got just a small number of people, unmute and let me know how many years you are into your career. How many years are you into your career right now?
I'm 25.
Eight.
25. I can see the math. Everybody doing the math.
Yeah.
25.
So
Omar.
12?
Oh, lost Omar.
Oh, hello?
Oh, are you
there
there?
it is.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
There we
about
go.
12 years.
12. Okay.
30.
Okay. Great. Hey, Victor. How many did you
Then
say?
I'm 30.
30. 30. Excellent. Katrina?
Which career? Oh, yikes. Yeah, 30.
Yeah,
31.
okay.
Really.
All right. All right. So I am 30 plus as well. And Omar, did we hear from you? We lost you there for a second. Did we hear from you? How many years are you into your career?
Oh, yeah, no, I mentioned, I said 12.
12, that's right. Okay. Okay, good, good. Well, my background is been a brother for a long time. My background is a training and development specialist, and I have, like I mentioned, 30 years or so. Sounds like you've got a lot of experience in the room today. And I have been in the last 18 years or so, 19 years in the automotive world, in the automotive industry. I work for Napa. Now I'm working with WorldPack. In the last 6 months, I made a big transition. I left Napa, and now I'm working multiple contracts on my own for the last kind of quarter or so of my career. So excited about that. And all throughout, I've been a dog and an automobile enthusiast. I'm not an expert, but I know enough about cars to be dangerous. And throughout my career, I have pursued certifications along the way. So we are going to talk about the ins and outs of certifications. And our mission today, if you choose to accept it, sometimes it can feel like a mission impossible. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot take on one more thing. Do I really think certifications are worth it? So we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the components of a professional certificate, kind of like what they look like today. They could change. They could definitely change over time. Why bother with a professional certificate? And are certifications actually going to be the future versus traditional educational models? I don't know if some of you were in the AI session, but he teed me up a little bit on some of the content we're going to talk about today. We will look at some of the top certifications because with my job switch, I am looking at certifications. Which one should I get? And I got very overwhelmed. So what I'm hoping to do today is to let you know what those certifications might be, the obstacles that a lot of people face, and help you break down those obstacles and then things to consider when choosing a certification. So who, maybe by a show of hands, who is currently pursuing a certification? Okay. All right. So Eddie, are you like renewing? Because I know in your profession, being a lawyer, you have to have all kinds of credentials and certifications and things like that. So are you adding or are you renewing?
No, I have all the certifications that are available to me, but every 5 years I have to renew my board certification as an attorney.
Mhm.
And that's a very detailed process where we have to go through peer review. We have to report all of the trials we've done and give about 15 references of other attorneys and judges that will comment on our ethics and competency.
Oh my gosh, that is a huge, huge project. Wow. So no one else pursuing a certification? What about thinking about one? Maybe that's why you're here today. Thinking about one? Okay, well, hopefully, I'll help kind of narrow it down a little bit. Katrina, you raised your hand. What's up?
Yeah, thinking about a certification.
Okay, okay. Which one are you thinking about? Or are you just in the initial house hunting phase? Just looking.
Looking at the certifications related to our field. I'm also in learning and development, training and
Okay.
development. So
Okay.
kind of looking at what the ATD has to offer, looking at what
Mhm.
the local university offers, and considering.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. All right, so let's break it down. Let's look at the components of a certification and a certification. They've been around for a long, long time. They just have changed their shape and they've molded a little differently. Like Eddie said, he's got a lot of things that he has to do. Nurses, teachers, CPAs, there's each industry will get together and they will, over the years, they've wanted to set some standards. And it's one of the purposes, that kind of the ultimate goal of a certification is to set a level of standard. I've done some certifications over the years. I started off in IT and I worked for an insurance company, and they had the Life Office Management Association, LOMA exams. And so I took a few of those just to learn that industry, to learn, about that business and the standards. There are individual companies, as you know, don't award certifications. They're usually independent associations. And so make sure you look for that kind of thing. And the associations, governing bodies, sometimes the government, sometimes there are required certifications that people have to have. If you think of some of the trades, they are required to have certain certifications. So an association awards this, and it is a validation of your expertise. Also, some other components of a certification usually include, and I'm sure all of you are aware of this, some kind of standardized assessment or exam. And Eddie described just a minute ago, his exam requires a lot of different types of things, testimonials and reviews and things like that. But a lot of them are taking a kind of a proctored exam, either going to a test center. There's more and more places that are able to give online testing with proctoring. I think there's a lot of schools and colleges that allow people to take exams, but you have to like put your whole room on a camera. Like you have to like walk around and show that you have nothing hanging on the walls, and that you have no cheat sheets anywhere, that kind of thing. But most of the time you have to go somewhere because they are proctored. Also, certifications may have a combination of things. You have to have a certain number of professional years and experience, in that particular field. Some of the automotive certifications, and also a little side note, you should always take your car to a shop that has ASE certified technicians. It's the Automotive Service Excellence, and it's a little blue medallion kind of thing. And because they're in the automotive world, that's our like CPA exam. And so I have certified, and I have to have certain number of years of professional experience in order to truly fully earn that certification. So there may be requirements like that. So make sure you look into all of that. And continuing education. There may be requirements that you have to continue to learn and keep your skills sharp for a renewal. So comments, questions on that? Okay, probably no surprises. No surprises there. All right, so why bother? Why bother with a certification? Like I mentioned, it takes some time and there's some cost involved. So I look at, there's 3 areas here that I think people can benefit from, and that is your individually, the business, or the employer, you and your career, and then also in the industry or global. There's benefits from just starting with you with your skill enhancement. You definitely, in every certification I've gone through, I learn along the way. And also you can get access with some of the certifications to very specialized knowledge, and again, learn along the way. You can increase your marketability. You have increased confidence, and there's a personal satisfaction of accomplishing, that particular goal. When it comes to businesses and the employers, sometimes employers require these certifications because they have to meet certain regulatory requirements. And so if you're going to go work in a certain industry or go work for that company, then you have to pass a certification. Again, I think of the trades, they have to. Another benefit that you might experience is that you have employer support to go and do this. Hopefully you do. It makes it a little harder if you don't, but a lot of employers support and might even pay for, some of the certifications. It can also, certifications can help advance your career. And also because of maybe the continuing education, there's networking opportunities. You may need to go to a certain number of meetings or take classes and things like that. And there can be a lot of opportunities to network. So certifications also are recognized by an industry. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, and they can help a business or an industry adapt to change. Boy, so much has changed just in the last 4 years, technology. And so with requiring certifications or us getting a certification, we can stay on top of that change and adapt better. Also, a friend of mine, he's in IT, and the company that I was working for was expanding into Europe and opening up an IT department ground up in Poland. And he got to go over, very prestigious position. And I know it's because he had certifications that were globally recognized and supported, by the company. So a lot of the certifications we're gonna look at a list here in a little bit are recognized globally. So that can open up opportunities for you. So questions about this? But why bother? Can anybody think of any other reasons for pursuing a certification? Some of the benefits. Yeah, Eddie.
I wanted to be seen as the ultimate expert and the best at what I do. So as an attorney in Florida, you have to wait 5 years to be board certified. And I went into college when I was 17 because I was lucky like that. And so I was pretty young when I got board certified. And that also kind of put a stamp on me that, I'm competent to do what I'm doing. There's only 230 of me in Florida, board certified in my area. So it instantly told the world that I was an expert at what I do.
Good point. Very good point. Very good point. I can't imagine y'all getting together and sharing. Oh my gosh.
It's horrible. We have a conference every year where it's called the Board Certification Review Course. And like only 15 people become board certified a year, but everybody goes to this course. And if you ever wanted to get rid of all the family law attorneys in Florida at one time, all in one place, January 24th to the 26th of every year. So
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh geez, hats off to you. That's got to be tough. So with certifications in this job transition that I was going through, I was hearing from mentors that get some certifications, get some. You haven't been on the job market in a really long time. I was with my previous company for 18 plus years. And so make sure you stay up on some certification, get some new ones and things like that. And I thought, gosh, do I go back to school, certifications? And I started exploring a little bit. And are certifications the future? You hear more and more of people who are not getting the traditional 4-year college degree, because sometimes you have to get 2 majors or a major and 2 minors. I mean, just to compete, in the job market, it's really, really tough. So what's happening with the certifications? They are gaining ground. And technology, possibly the pandemic, has accelerated the certification process. There's so many organizations out there that are providing online learning and these certifications. So there's so many out there. Like I said, I was just overwhelmed by what I was showing. And so there are also, it's a way with the certifications, because you specialize, like Eddie said, he wanted to be seen as an expert, and you can get your niche. You can get a certain set of skills that nobody else has, because I've got this combination of certifications, and it really sets you apart. Also, you may have heard of, anybody heard of digital badges? There's like on LinkedIn and other sites, there are these digital badges, and people are starting to collect those. Employers and recruiters are starting to look at those. So in addition to your resume, there are other things to think about. And so certifications, these digital badges, things like that are some of those things to add. Also with customers and their demands, they in an earlier session, we're not really in a needs-based world right now. It's more of a want. And so if customers want something, then employers need to have certain skill sets. So again, very specific skill sets. So I don't think certifications are going away anytime soon, and they may continue to just shape and mold. And but I don't see traditional, college going away, but these aren't going away either. So at one point in my career, I was trying to decide between a master's degree. Do I pursue a master's degree, or do I do certifications, things like that? And what tipped me towards certifications was the fact that experience. At the time, experience was going to be more beneficial to me than pursuing a master's degree. So lots of things to think about, and it's all an individual decision. So here are some widely recognized certifications. Anybody have any of these? Some of them are really IT oriented on the right-hand side. These are.
I want to be a Scrum Master.
Yeah. On the right-hand side, those are IT related. AWS is the Amazon, web services, that kind of thing. And the one in the middle, certified data scientist. If you were in the AI session earlier, which I think some of you were, Michael did say that data scientists, it's like, they put the brakes on those. Everything that I'm seeing is that data scientists is a good thing to possibly pursue. So definitely do your homework on it. The ones on the left certainly apply to certain professions. A CPA, certified financial planner, I can quickly eliminate those. That's not in my career goals. The certified artificial intelligence consultant, people are pursuing that. That might be a little bit IT oriented as well. The PHR, Katrina, you may have pursued that one at some point in your career, a certified professional HR person. But the one in the upper left, the PMP, which is the project management professional. And that can apply to all of us. We all can learn from project management, no matter what your field is, whatever your industry is, all of us can benefit from project management. So I do recommend that one as one to pursue. So one of the things that I'm doing with the session today is at the very end, there's going to be a QR code that's going to go to a shared document that's going to have a lot more of these things listed and more details. So some supporting information, so make sure you download that. And I'm not trying to sell a service or anything, kind of sounds that way, but I'm not. I just wanted to convey the information, and we only have a certain amount of time, and there is a lot of information out there. Okay. So here are some of the in-demand certifications. And then again, data science is right at the top. Michael said that one might be a little bit on hold, but everything I'm seeing is it is pretty important. It's big data, just like business analytics down there on the list as well. Blockchain, it has to do with IT and how systems communicate with one another in blocks of data. DevOps has to do with how IT works together, cloud architecture, but business analytics, and then artificial intelligence there at the bottom. Those two can really apply to all of us. And then these here, the ones that are bolded, actually what I'm seeing in the research that I did said that if you have these, and again, the business analytics and the artificial intelligence can apply to all of us, that those might actually boost your pay more so than others. So just something to note. In that additional material, there is a video by Shane Hummus, and it is the top 5 online certifications that are actually worth it. And so I recommend that video, and it'll be in that document that you can download as well. So just trying to narrow it down for you, get you at a starting place, and then you might explore and find some other things. So we talked a lot about IT, but there are certifications for all professions. And so again, project management right there at the top. And also there's certifications for, healthcare, marketing. Just every profession has it. Again, they're
Payroll.
yeah.
There's a certified payroll professional or
Yes,
CP.
absolutely. Yep. So in the extra material, there's more listed on the page. I just wanted to give you a little sampling there. But it's just not an IT thing. It really does apply to professions and all. So I know what profession Katrina's in. I know what Eddie's doing. So Gemma, what's your profession? What field are you in?
So I'm actually in supply chain. So when you mentioned PMP, that's exactly the certification I was thinking about pursuing. So
Good. All right. Supply chain was a big deal with Napa. I was napping on distribution centers and things like that. So cool. Omar, what profession are you in?
I'm in IT.
You're in IT.
Yes.
Oh, so we're talking your language today.
Oh yeah.
So are some of those IT certifications piquing your interest, or you may have some of those?
I'm looking at a few, and
Yeah.
I've looked at material, and it's just putting the time in. That's the hurdle.
Yes. Understand. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So Victor,
Yes, ma'am.
what is your
Healthcare.
profession? Where are you now?
Healthcare.
Okay.
So it's revenue cycle. So it's intense.
Absolutely. So are there certain healthcare certifications that you're interested in?
I mean, again, if anything, it's more going through, I mean, the PMP definitely, like you said earlier, applies to everyone. That goes without saying, basically. But as far as anything within what terms of my because I do like a lot of claims auditing, basically. As far as working with HIPAA and whatnot, basically. So yeah.
Oh, it's a lot there. So are you a coder?
Guilty as charged partially, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My sister-in-law was a coder, really good at it. And it's like, oh my gosh, the knowledge that you have to have. Oh my gosh.
It's intense. I mean, because if you make one mistakes, the HIPAA version of Elliot Ness and the Untouchables will come knocking down your door. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, all right. And Vito, I don't know if you're there or not. You're wearing lots of hats today. Is she there? Is he there? Not sure. Okay. Wearing lots of hats. All right. So we've kind of broken down a certification. We've talked about what to expect, the different components. Hopefully you've picked up a little something. And now I did a little research and why people don't pursue a certification. You may see a few of these kind of bricks, brick walls that you have run into. And so with pursuing a certification, I certainly have experienced a few of these. But lack of awareness, some people just don't know that they're out there. I didn't know about the automotive certifications for a little while, and how there is an industry standard, for that field. So just not knowing. And there aren't like TV shows about it. It's not the most exciting topic. So, and also they may not have the confidence to research it and go and show up and take the test. And I mean, there are some people, they're good at taking tests, and there are people that their palms sweat and they almost want to go to the bathroom and throw up. I mean, some people, that is really, really hard for them, and it takes a lot of confidence. Some people are skeptical. It's like, this is not going to really pay off. I'm not going to spend all this time and money, and it's just really not going to pay off for me. So they're skeptical about it. The renewal requirements sometimes can be just as much as getting the initial certification. That can turn off people from pursuing it. The time commitment in the preparation, the taking, and the research of the certification, all of that can take, some time. And you've probably seen in the bookstores, if you browse bookstores anymore, the big exam preparation guides that are still out there. And so it takes some time, definitely takes some time. In my story, the experience over the credentials, I chose the experience was going to pay off for me more than the credential of having a certification. So I chose that. Cost, if you don't have an employer that is going to support you and pay for it, it can cost a little bit more. And then the relevance. That's a little bit like the skepticism in a way. It's like, this isn't relevant to me. It's not going to really pay off. It's not really going to help. So those can be some of those obstacles and those brick walls that you run into when pursuing a certification. So what else can we add to this list? Some of you have been looking into it. You may have tried it in the past. What other obstacles? What's gotten in your way?
As someone who coached many of my coworkers prior to taking a certified payroll professional exam, fear of taking a test.
Yeah.
And the reality, I had people who were coming in saying it's been 10 years, 20 years, 25 years since I took a test. And getting that, not only the confidence, but test taking is a skill. And if you haven't used it in a long time, you have to be reminded of it. So in my facilitation, I also included lots of test taking tips. So if there is anybody who is looking to get a certification and has to take an exam, no matter what the topic, let me know and I'll help you
Oh.
prepare.
That would be great. Some test taking tips.
Yes.
So I tell people, when in doubt, choose the longest answer. Because when people write distractor answers on tests, I've studied test writing a little bit, they're not going to spend a lot of time on elaborating on the distractors. So a lot of times the right answer is the longest one. So, but I would love to hear your tips. So great. All right. So any other comments about what's gotten in your way of pursuing a certification? Anything else? Okay. All right. So now say you go ahead and you bust through, you have decided I'm going for it. Here's some things to consider. So what I like to think of, instead of that brick wall in front of me, I'm gonna make some building blocks. So let's start off with a few items here. When you are looking at a certification, you want to make sure that it is relevant to your field. That was one of the obstacles. So we're taking a lot of those obstacles and kind of flipping them around. But definitely don't waste your time on something that you might use later, but you're really interested in. My niece is actually looking to transfer into another profession. And the advice that she is hearing is to get certifications on the field that she wants to go into. That'll be relevant to her. That's where she's headed, not on where she came from, which was payroll software, by the way, Katrina. But she take things of where you're going, make sure it's relevant to your field, and ask around people that are in that field, and is it really recognized? There are two camps in the automotive world where they say the ASE certifications and you can have a master technician can have like, I think it's 12 or 13. They have to pass 12 or 13 exams to be a master tech. And there are people that say it's not worth it. It doesn't really get you any more money. And then there are ones that just swear by it. So how does the industry look at it? How does the industry recognize that particular certification? And like my niece, what are your career goals? She's trying to transition into something new. She needs to match with what her career goals are. So we add some more building blocks and look at what are the prerequisites and the eligibility. There are some that I would like to pursue, but I don't have the prerequisite, either experience, knowledge, and I might not even be eligible. With the technician exam, you have to have 2 years of experience before you can earn the certification. Look at the cost and investment. That's a personal decision. Everybody's got to weigh that themselves, and the time commitment. And is this summer? Do you want to spend your time on the beach studying for an exam? Maybe the fall would be better when there's a whole back to school buzz. So look at your time. Or
if you're a football fan, maybe fall's not the best time.
Exactly. Here in the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, definitely. The exam format and difficulty. Is it multiple choice questions? Is it essays? What is it? And then another row of building blocks is the industry trends and the demand. What is actually needed in that particular industry going forward? If you haven't ever Googled, go out and Google or use your AI app that you like, the top skills needed for 2024. And it's very interesting what comes up. and where things are going, or Google, or use your AI app, to search on what's needed in the next 3 to 5 years. And so look at the industry trends and the demand. Are there going to be professional development opportunities? With my transition into being an independent training specialist, I really don't want to pursue anything that's going to box me in a corner. I need to look at opportunities, either contracts or certifications, that are going to put me in touch with other people for different types of contracts and things like that. So are there professional development opportunities? Is there a series of certifications, a bronze, silver, gold, type approach? And then also the last thing to look at when you're considering a specific certification is maintaining it. What's involved? What's involved? So comments, questions on that? All good? All right. So now that we've got our certification, we have found it, we've considered all these things, we have found it, and now you're in that storming phase of preparing for it, and some of the information that in that additional document is how to make it fun. And this can be some study tips, but for some of us, it's been a while since we have maybe had some true steady studying that we had to do. And so here are a few fun things to think about, and that is music. One of the things I saw was to make up a song. If you have that skill, and make up a song about it to help remember things, or have a playlist to help you focus and concentrate. On all the streaming music services, there are playlists to help you focus and concentrate. I do that when I'm reading a book. I put a certain reading playlist on. That'll help. Make bingo cards of the stuff that you need. And then the mnemonics, we all know what that is, right? Just easy ways to remember things. And I came across this. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this. Some people have a hard time remembering which months in the year have 31 days and which ones don't. And I never realized that if you looked at your knuckles and you alternate starting left to right, January, February, March, April, May, June, so on and so forth, that all the ones on the top have 31 days. I never knew this. So when you are studying, come up with ways to help remember using mnemonics and stuff like that. Again, it's just study tips, but I thought that was really cool. I never knew that. And then another suggestion to help make this whole preparation fun, because again, some of us, it's been a while, is charades. With all the key concepts and things that you need to remember, is to get some people maybe that are studying as well, and play charades with your key concepts. So get some flashcards and play charades. So on that additional material, there'll be some other ways kind of to make it fun. So anybody have anything that works for them when they have to focus and concentrate? What works for you?
Smooth jazz in the background.
Ooh, that's good.
Yep.
That's good. What else works for you when you have to focus and concentrate?
My learning style is if I write something down longhand, then I will memorize it. So I often write notes, and that's what plugs it into my head.
Yep. There is still scientific proof. There is something that is magical that connects the hand with the brain and the writing. Because
those synapses are firing.
Yes, yeah. Because even just typing and taking notes, there's something for some it's just not as effective as that handwriting. I'm with you, Eddie. And I don't think it's a generational thing. I think it's a human being thing. So anything else that works for you to concentrate?
Was it photogenic memory? Tying some, some material with like a picture or just something
Ooh.
around you.
Okay, like visualization.
Yes.
That I have to see that. Yeah, sometimes I have to, especially if I am learning a language, I have to see the word in my head, and that probably slows me down. But I have to see the word. So good point. All right, anything else?
Scent.
Oh,
If any of you have like smelled something and it brought a memory back, a very strong memory back, there's something about scents and how they stick in your brain and can be connected to memories. So when I was coaching folks who were about to take an exam, I recommended that for whatever their most difficult concept was to remember, to like get a peppermint or their favorite kind of mint, put it in their mouth while they're studying that, so that the scent is there, and bring that same kind of mint into the exam room and when they're dealing with that particular topic to break it out.
very cool. Like a little aromatherapy.
Yeah. And then somebody asked, what do I do if I have multiple things that I can't remember? Tuck different handkerchiefs in your pockets with a scent on each one.
Yeah. Yeah. Or pencils. You could dip pencils in something. And then they'll hold the scent.
I don't think for the exam that they were taking, they were allowed to bring in their own writing utensils. No, they were not. Yeah. So you got to watch out that too for the testing centers and what you're allowed and not allowed to bring in.
Excellent. Okay. More tips in the additional materials. So if all of this has not tipped you over, if you're really wanting to get a certification, hasn't tipped you over, here are some quotes from some pretty prominent people. So Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. And I think this all sums up everything pretty well. In a world where knowledge is power, certifications provide a tangible way to validate and showcase your skills to employers and clients. It reinforces what Eddie was saying earlier. Investing. Here's the CEO of Google. Investing in professional certifications is an investment in yourself. It's a commitment to continuous learning. I love those words. And personal growth that pays dividends throughout your career. Certifications are not just about adding letters to your name, although that is fun. They're about about opening doors to new opportunities and advancing your career to the next level. So former CEO of Lockheed Martin. So there are some other quotes in the additional materials, and I'll kind of wind it down here. And here, another thing that's in this Google Doc is a list of websites to get started on their LinkedIn. You may not be able to read this, it's kind of small, but this is all in that document. LinkedIn, Udemy is another one, edX, so on and so forth. So my contact information is there. And I also have a special page for artificial and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something, along with critical thinking skills, my own personal opinion, is lacking a little bit, emotional intelligence in our workforce. And although you don't get certified like it's a technical skill, you can get certified to assess and coach others, in that. So if that happens to interest you, there's some information about getting a certification in emotional intelligence as well. So I hope you picked up a little something, and feel free to download that document. Reach out to me if you have questions. I would love to hear what happens if you end up pursuing a certification, how was it? And did it turn out okay? Any comments? Other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna add, LinkedIn Learning, if the cost gets too concerning, you can always, there's always a chance that your local library may give you access through, to LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, good tip. Thanks. Yep. Any other comments? Well, let me know how it goes. And good luck.